Hi there. I am going to do a little quick video for you on copper foil overlay. Um, Copper foil overlay is where you add in some of the details that traditionally a lot of people try to use a Sharpie marker or paints for. You can use it for eyes, facial details, sometimes even adding um, designs into something. I've seen some beautiful lamps like with Adirondack trees and moose. What's great is you could use scrapbook punches and other things to punch stuff out. You can make your own design. There's lots of stuff you can do with a foil overlay. But really, the things you're going to need is your copper foil. Usually it comes in an adhesive square tile. You're going to want to pick yourself up, if you don't have one, a microwave plate. You can get them like at Goodwill and other places all over the place, but this is tempered, high heat, resistance, so you can work as long as you want pretty much and not crack this. Where if you try to put the overlay directly onto your stained glass or specialty glass, it's going to crack pretty fast on you from the heat. So this really is the secret for what you're going to be doing. So there's many ways to do it. I'm still somewhat new at it, but for the most part, this is kind of how I deal with mine and how I do mine. I'm not prepared. So what I've done is I've drawn a little picture. I know recently I put up a little angel that said Peace Angel, and she's going to actually be holding an olive branch that is going to be done out of overlay. So I thought we would practice with that. So take your drawing, or if you freehand, whatever's good for you, put it down on your copper, and with a ballpoint pen, go ahead and draw out your design. Just like a tracing for anything else. You know, just put the ballpoint so that it's going to go through. And I don't know if you can see it or not with my light, but there it is. There's my piece. And depending on how you do it, some people cut right up to it, whatever, whatnot. I'm going to cut mine out of a square just to make life a little bit easier for us. Usually what I do is kind of get it somewhat close. And again, it's all going to depend on what you want to do and how you do your stuff. And then you're going to peel the back off. And you're going to adhere it down onto your glass. And then you're going to take your X-Acto knife and do all of your detailing so that you have just your the portion left you want to do the overlay. A lot of times the overlay, when it's done, is going to be the inverse, meaning, you know, you're kind of taking the reverse as if from when you draw something. This one, I actually do want it to be solid in the center, so it's kind of easy. You're actually just going to cut right along your lines, and hopefully that kind of makes sense. It's something you do have to practice, and it's all style, personal style, and what you want. So once you have it all kind of cut, I know that this one's going to eventually actually get attached to a piece of wire. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing or not, but I'm going to go ahead and pull off the scraps that I don't need. And get all this off of here for you so that you can see. And like I said, there are tons of ways to do this. It's just trial and error. I usually work a little lower on my iron than most people, and that's more because I'm constantly switching between lead, hobby came, this kind of stuff, and I've just gotten pretty good that I know when I'm not gonna break something, and I just stay at a little bit lower temperature. So most likely when you're gonna be doing this, it might be a little bit higher temp, but you'll be fine. Okay, so now you can see my piece is adhered down, and I think I just broke a little bit, but that's all right. It's adhered down onto my plate. So just like you're gonna normally do, I am really not prepared today. All right. You're going to flux it just like you would. Take your solder. You can see this. And you're just going to go ahead and start soldering the piece. And like anything, if you're working for a long time, I would stop and let things cool down a little bit. But you know, you're going to go ahead. This is going to be a fast one to work up. And you can layer it if you want to make it have more of a 3-dimension. You can pull less if you want it to just take the thinness of the initial foil. This one I kind of want it a little puffy, almost like a puffy sticker. Yeah, that was pretty easy. And you'll just mess around and play with that until you get it how you want it. And let it cool for a minute or two. So I'm going to clean up a little bit here while we're cooling. And you'll see the pieces here now. And then I take a putty knife once it's cool, and you're going to come up underneath it and just be gentle. I do sharpen my putty knife from time to time. It is still very, very sticky. This ended up in 2 pieces, and it's probably because I'm rushing, and I knew I'd kind of cut it. But really, for the most part, it's not going to matter anyways, because I'm actually going to attach a little wire to the back and put this on, which we'll go ahead and do it right now. But you can see it's still tacky and sticky. So you'll be able to take this to your piece, really, you know, while it's a little warm, put it in place, get it down, re-tack and solder kind of where it's going to touch on your other solders and placements, and it should stay. It should be fine. If you find it's not, I've heard E6000 works well, but I wouldn't do that then until you're all finished, done cleaning, you know, patina it, have everything done, cleaned, and then put that on as the last thing if that's how you're going to do it. If you know, I often put them right onto that glass that I have, and then right from there I am ready to just kind of incorporate it into the piece. I usually personally try to tack it in, and when I say tack it in, I kind of want it to tack into other pieces of my glass that are already there with the solder. That way I know it's permanent and it's not going to come off at any point. So I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I wanted a wire at the bottom of this anyway, so since this little one broke on me, I'm just kind of improvising as we go. Ooh, hot. Always hot. Wish I had more to talk to you about. I probably could if I wasn't looking at this so much and just trying to get it where it looks decent. You know, I do all these videos kind of improvised, so there's no script and there's no practice. It's just kind of you get me how you get me if you were here. Okay, so this one's a little more unusual because I added that wire, like I said. This wouldn't be a normal process. You'd stick it on, but because I know that this is going on that piece angel, I went ahead and made that wire and all that, because now what I'll do is when I make the angel around my lead edge, I'm just going to tack it at that point, you know, in here somewhere and somewhere up in here, and it'll be fine. So that's pretty much how you make a foil overlay. Really simple, fast foil overlay. Like I said, you foil it, you cut it out, you put it on your board there where you cut it out, you get it how you want. Take a putty knife, pull it off. At that point, if you can adhere it and go straight, go for it. If you're not going to and it's going to go on at the end, then go ahead and clean it all, polish it, patina, whatever you're going to do, set it aside, and then attach it afterwards if you're going to use some sort of adhesive. It does take practice like anything, but it's really not a hard process to do at all. And it's surprisingly sturdy once you've gone ahead and soldered all of it. So, you know, obviously some that are very intricate with webbings and stuff, you're going to take a little more care and stuff, but you should be good to go. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments. Thanks.